kick off before you even get halfway through. Oh, when will you realize?
Is there any way to like test it, make sure it's working, or just yeah? Hello, testing.
Okay, cool.
Let's go. It's cool, man.
I love how simple this all is, and that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
But
Every time you get like a super polished like interview, it feels not fake, but like a little inauthentic. It's like, I become very aware of where the camera is when I'm watching something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just a me thing, but I really think about that, and it like sometimes it pisses me off. And
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh, I don't like that the illusion's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're not just in the room with people. It's like,
and there's different ways to refer to the camera. You're either afraid of it or you're excited, and you want to make sure you're getting your right angles, you're smiling, your posture's right. So you're looking at it a different way than, say, my mom, who I did a practice interview with the other day. Mm-hmm. She was terrified.
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, that is plastic and metal.
I don't think they grasp the whole internet world still.
Yeah.
And it's so scary to them because all they've been taught is like all the negatives of it.
In a way, as they should be, but I think at this point, especially with ChatGPT, it's okay to just like, in my opinion, let it take over. Because chat has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
In getting my brain organized.
And like, what are we gonna do to stop it?
Yeah.
Like even if we wanted to,
I know
you can't. So
in my, like the excuse I'm giving myself is I'm letting it get to know everything about me so that it can help me and maybe get ahead of the curve a little bit.
Just get a friend.
I'll be the first to die.
Yeah, there you go. That's funny. Yeah,
it's just funny.
It's funny seeing people like react to cameras and all that. It's like I'm very laid back when it comes to that. It's like what happens happens. I can't really do much to stop it. So. Let it roll. Yeah,
so you're ahead of the curve in that regard, and I think that's a really good intro for who I'm interviewing today, like you, Wyatt Metzger, everything that you've done. You were one of the first in my life to take YouTube seriously, and to take cameras seriously, and to take the idea of the internet seriously, whereas I was behind the curve. I was like not as willing to change, and I looked at it through a different lens of like, that'll never catch on, or I don't know if I could ever do that. I don't know if people would ever want to hear me talk in front of a camera, but are you willing to talk about what the beginnings were like for you before I go through the big introduction later?
Yeah, no, I mean, beginning was very like, it wasn't very flashy. It was just simply I was bored and I was in high school and I needed just something to like fill my time out because I really started going into my senior year of high school because I was kind of wrapping up tennis. So I didn't know if I wanted to play in college. I ended up playing in college, but after my high school season in the fall, I grew up playing tennis every single day, year round. That was part of my schedule. First point in my life, it was done. And I didn't have that. And I didn't have to do it. I could choose. So I had all this free time. I was still making my mind on if I wanted to keep playing. So all of a sudden I get home from school at 3:30 and it's like, what do I do? Like it's senior year, you don't have a ton of homework, like whatever. So at that point, influencer culture, like YouTubers were like very big. And so I was seeing a lot of it. And it's not like I wanted to be that, but I was very interested in the type of videos they were making. I ended up starting with a fake documentary. I was really into like parody videos. So I made one about my friend who was the quarterback, Luke Keller, at the time. So it was the 30 for 30 style like interview about a high school quarterback. Dumbest thing ever. It's still on the internet somewhere. But I just really enjoyed the process of it because I was behind the scenes. I wasn't on camera at all during the whole thing. But I got to feel like I was orchestrating this thing. Like I was a director of this thing where my friends were on camera. They enjoyed doing it. I shot it on a MacBook. I didn't have a camera. I literally used the webcam on the MacBook. And then I was like, oh, this is fun. So I should buy a camera. And then...
And a degree of it probably felt super natural. Like it was just coming so organically for you.
Yeah, because there wasn't a blueprint. And I like that. It was, hey, you can do whatever you want. So there's really no way to mess it up. It was like, it was my idea. So... there was no like, oh, you can fail this or you can do a bad job at it because it's just whatever I create.
And as you pitch ideas to the people around you, you see their eyes light up and you're like, okay, Okay.
Yeah, you put them in front of a camera, and at first they're hesitant, and then they're like, "Wait, what if we try this?" And it's like, "Oh, this is fun." Now it's a group project, and we're working on it together. So
I love that.
That was so fun. And then fast forward graduation, I spent all of my graduation money on a camera that I still use today. That one
That's
right there.
amazing.
It's the same camera. All my high school graduation money that I should have probably saved or put somewhere else went into that camera.
Yeah.
And I like to think it paid off because I'm still using it. So probably one of the best investments of my life.
That's cool. I need to
and
get
yeah.
you in touch with Isaac because he has a very similar story towards risking everything and buying a camera.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
I'll connect you after this.
Yeah. But yeah, and then it kind of just snowballed from there, and it's just, again, throwing a lot of stuff at the wall, see what sticks. And
Yeah.
it's been a long journey to get kind of where we're at now. It's going to be continue to be a long journey, but it's fun. I enjoy that part.
So here we go. We got Wyatt Metzger, GoodTime Media, BachMakers, The Read Option, People Person Podcast, Tennis Coach, co-starred in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Great day to have a day. Why so quiet? What am I missing? And when is the last time you put together a resume?
You're missing scored 50 points in a CYO basketball game.
Yes.
That's number one on my resume.
Yes.
It's the most important thing I've ever done in my life.
That brings in the money and that brings in the
Yep,
girls.
that's all I needed. It was incredible. But
That is huge, actually.
it's one of my favorite things of all time. I used to have the scorebook hanging up. I had the score sheet from it.
We'll delete everything we've recorded
perfect.
so far and
Yeah.
start with
Yeah, no, I haven't, honestly, now you get to my resume, I haven't checked it since senior year. I haven't really needed it, which is a weird thing for someone at 25 years old. Should probably update that thing because I don't think it really encapsulates what I'm doing now.
The point I'm making is
yeah.
you should not.
Yeah.
Keep it in the treasure chest under your bed. Like,
I would love to see what it looks like now, though.
look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't need one.
I'm just interested in what it was like, because I definitely had one at some point. Like my senior year, I was like, I should probably look for a job, and then tennis coach came up, and then we're here, and I didn't need it. But
I think it would be really funny, like a little segment idea for you down the road to actually like apply for a job with what you're doing, and just like, I mean, Wyatt, you're overqualified as hell for this job, but like. What?
Yeah, or it depends on the job. Maybe very underqualified. They're like, okay, cool. What are you gonna do? Shoot a video of this?
Like, I'm really good at getting people to date, and
you don't watch The Bachelor here? Yeah, probably not the guy for you.
This is Sports Center.
Yeah, seriously.
That's funny. And then I'll speak on our friendship. So in high school, we were kind of friends in passing. We respected each other, I would say.
Yeah.
Post grad, that respect grew towards you as everything I just mentioned of you really walking the walk, you being serious about your craft, and you taking it to a whole nother level. And so I just watched in silence for a lot of that. Continued to follow you, continued to like your stuff. You became a teacher for me recently. I'd say a year and a half ago. I came in here for the first time, I mean, probably less time ago, and asked you about all the equipment in here and showed interest in like starting my own thing. And you gave me a lot of confidence to do something like this. So I want you to be aware of the effect you have on other people in your community already.
That's
and
awesome.
say thank you.
Oh, dude, no problem. Like that's the fun part about it for me, honestly, is like sharing what little I know, because it's a very big space, and like I know a little bit about it. I'm still learning every day on how to grow in this little weird internet space, but it's at the end of the day, it's about the people, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck up in a studio editing myself and just putting stuff out there and never interacting with people. Like, we are social beings at our core. Like, we want to interact with people. So that's the cool part about it. That's kind of why I really got into it, because the internet can connect you to people in like ways you could never understand. I just think it's really cool, and then the people it's what drives it. So like introducing people to stuff, or who are interested and want to give it a shot, because I was there. I was there at a younger age, but I was there. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I want to do something.
Yeah.
So I love when people kind of have that spark and they're like, yeah, I want to try something, but I don't know what, and that's okay. I still don't know what tomorrow looks like in terms of what I'm going to shoot, what I'm going to film, but like, again, that is the excitement for me. It's like every day is a little different with this space, so that's awesome.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
I think your willingness is going to get you so far, because you've shared some ideas with me that I'm not going to say right now about like things that are coming up in your future, and you don't even know the first step of how to handle this, but your smile and your ability to just say, guys, we're going to figure it out. I think that's going to get you so far, and it already has, so that's cool.
No, there's no other way to look at it, because if you try to plan out everything, again, stuff's going to come up and throw a wrench in it. So I'm not the biggest, like, oh, let's plan 12 steps ahead and just follow that blueprint. I'm like, throw myself into it, immerse myself in the space a little bit, and then just adapt on the fly. Because I work way better in, like, chaos than calm, and I've kind of figured that out about myself over the last couple of years. It's like I need stuff to juggle. Where I feel like on the outside I maybe look stressed or like have too much going on, but it's like the eye of the hurricane. It's like I feel calm right there because I'm like, I like this space.
It's good to know yourself in that way. So you mentioned a time you were in New York on set, and it gave you a lot of perspective of how you viewed Indiana and the creatives in Indiana. Are you willing to talk about like that perspective shift and what you gained from that experience?
Yeah. So last summer I went to New York to weirdly be in a short film where I was playing the younger version of Alan Ruck, who is the guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, plays Cameron Fry. They needed someone to play like the younger version of him in a flashback sequence. So the casting director reached out to me because I look like the guy, and they had seen me on TikTok or something. So I was like, sure, why not? I'm going to jump at this. So they flew me out to New York. I was there for a couple days, and it was really cool for me because I didn't know what to expect. Because like you don't have a good idea living in Indiana, growing up here, of like what even like the film industry looks like. And what happened was it was a couple 24, 25-year-olds, people like my peers, my age, who it felt like they were just working on a group project. And I don't mention that before, but it was, hey, we're all in on this idea. We want to make a movie. We're going to make it happen. And the cool thing about that was there was no hesitation in the sense of, oh, like, should we be doing this compared to like what everyone else is doing around us? Or maybe it'll look weird if we're filming in this diner at 7 a.m. with this big 80s camera dressed in all 80s gear. There was no hesitation. It was like, oh, we're just going to do this.
It makes sense. Let's go.
Yeah, it was just a part of what they do. It's like, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to make this movie. Yeah. And for me, that was super refreshing because I was at a point at that, like, just period in my life where everyone around me felt like they were like, oh, I'm getting this job, or I'm looking for my second job, or like, I don't love this job and I want to move on. And I was like, I'm just in a different path than you right now, it feels like. And it's not like it's like a woe is me type thing, but it's hard sometimes to isolating when you feel like, oh, I'm the only one like doing this path. Absolutely. Not that the path is wrong, but you start to think that because no one else is there. So it was so refreshing for me to see that environment. And then as soon as I got back here, I kind of chased that feeling. And I was like, oh, how can I kind of build that here and like start to nurture it? Because it's not to say like people in Indiana aren't doing cool things. Mm-hmm. There's people doing way cooler things than me, like in the media space. But I just feel like we're not as connected as we could be. And just like the ecosystem of it isn't really set. Like there's a lot of individuals doing cool things. I think it'd be really fun to be a support system for that group of people and like build that field up a little bit more in an area that isn't really known for that.
I don't think I've told you the name of this channel yet, but it's called The Real World Exit.
Oh, hell yeah.
And you embody it. That's why I've invited you on the show. It's the biggest compliment I can give to someone. And so I've been walking that in my life and trying to figure out like how exactly do I want to make my own path? Because I've already done it for the past few years. After graduating, I moved to 4 different states in a span of 4 years. And like, I just think it's the coolest thing that you're doing. And I hope you feel less alone at this point and like know that more people are doing it. Can
I ask about those states? What 4 states have you been to?
Right after graduation from Ohio.
Okay.
I moved to Mississippi.
Okay, I did not know that.
After Mississippi, Illinois, Chicago specifically, and Indiana.
What?
And now Florida.
And you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to go through all 4, but like, what did that how'd you grow from that? Because me personally, like I've been here my whole life. I've lived in Indiana. What did that help, like, you realize either about yourself or just like, hey,
I love
the path
that
I wanna go?
question.
Sorry to flip the script a little
No,
bit.
I think so. The first interview I did with AJ, he asked the same thing. He really wanted to know about me, and I think that's a puzzle piece of this show that is missing, because I'm making you get vulnerable, and then I'm sitting here. What did I learn from moving around so much? That I'm running from something.
Fair.
I'm not going to disclose all of that information on this right now,
Yeah.
but I came to realize, like, I am following myself each state I go to. It's always Matthew Hackle that follows me. And I have to come to terms with a lot of those things.
Yeah.
And a lot of those things I've confronted now. So, like, I would say you sitting in the same place, that is not a bad thing. It's just an awareness you have for yourself. And you're, like, comfortable in this community. You aren't...
Yeah.
I would like to go deeper on this off screen.
Yeah.
There's
for
so
sure.
many things. And another thing, I mean, substance related. I don't want this to be like a big pat on the back for me, but tomorrow I'll be sober for 8 months.
Damn. Let's go, dude. That's awesome.
That's another thing that was fueling my driving around so much, is I was still using so many different substances.
Yeah.
And my mind was just so colluded with all these different chemicals, and I never thought clearly enough. Now that I'm sober, like, I have the confidence to finally do this thing that I've been putting off for so long.
Yeah. Dude,
So-
that's, I mean,
Did that
congrats.
make sense at
Yeah,
all?
no, 100%. Like, that's so true. And, like, I think one thing I've kind of realized very recently is when I kind of talked about, oh, I'm on this one path and it feels like everyone else is doing something different. I think I've kind of realized there was, in the back of my mind, I think, a little bit of judgment where I was like, oh, you just don't get it. Like, you don't get what I'm trying to do, and you won't understand it. It's like, and I was very wrong in that thinking, and I think I've come to terms with it. It's like, we are all trying to get to the same point of, like, I'm fulfilled, I'm happy, I'm comfortable just in life, like, navigating whatever space I'm in, but we're all just going about it differently.
Yeah.
Like, some people are like, hey, I don't love this job right now, but it's giving me a decent paycheck. I'm comfortable enough where I can indulge in the hobbies that I want to indulge in, and I enjoy them. And maybe down the road, I can move up and get a job I really do like. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. For me, it's like, I'm going to grind, doing something I love, and then hopefully get to that point where I'm more comfortable financially, whatever it is. And I think I just realized, like, I can't hold any judgment towards the other side of the coin, because, like, we're all trying to get to the same point.
Yeah.
And we're just going about it the best way we know how. So that was a big kind of mindset shift for me, because I was like, why am I holding out judgment? Because I always felt defensive when I talked about what I do, because I'm like, every time I explain it, I feel like I have to convince them that this is, like, a noble path to go down.
Absolutely. And, like, win the conversation.
Yes. You'd be like, no, I swear, like, I make money.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I swear, like, I have this many followers. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But, like, there was an act of, like, convincing, where, like, I'm trying to get away from it. It's still hard sometimes, obviously. Like, when you're in different scenarios, you feel like, oh, I need to be more professional. Or, like, sometimes you want to... It's hard to talk about work, too, without feeling like you're, like, posturing or, like, flexing something for me, just because what I do is very public. So that's a fun thing to kind of navigate, which I'm still navigating. But yeah, that's been a big mindset shift for me. It's like, we're all headed towards the same place, or, like, that's the goal.
Yeah.
So that's
Bro,
been
that
cool.
gave me chills. I needed to hear that today. That's so funny.
That's awesome.
I was not expecting to see eye to eye with you on that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. What do you view of LinkedIn right now?
Dude, I am
I
the
had
last
student
person.
of the game as my bio the other day.
Dude, I'm the last person to ask about LinkedIn. I
think it's hilarious.
I'm so like out of that world. I don't think I have a LinkedIn. I think one of my college classes forced me to make one. So I have one. It might be a profile picture of me playing tennis in college. It has nothing of what I do on there.
Yeah.
I probably should just be on it just to, like, know what's going on
I think
around
it
me.
could help for New York shoots and things like that, or scenarios where they are looking for a younger version of Cameron.
Yeah.
Because like this will be a tangible snapshot of, okay, this guy is reputable.
Yeah.
which like
or even just advertisers for good time, stuff like that. Like,
Absolutely.
100%, it's a platform that I should be on, just not
It's
right now.
hilarious. That's why I was chuckling bringing it up, because since its beginnings, I've had views of it like, whoa, we all agreed to take this way too seriously. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that I can post whatever I want on that app and maybe 1,000+ people have to view it and feel the need to say, congrats, Matthew, I'm so excited for you on this next step of your life. Like, nah, I just shared that I took a walk at a park. Like,
there is a part of it, I think, LinkedIn more than ever. Like, it's a very professional like site, so everyone is kind of, all right, it's prim and proper, let's make sure everything's perfect, and like that stuff, just inauthenticness there really just like
that's
irks
it.
me.
Inauthenticness.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're just doing this so you get the better job, which again, I know there's a point to that, and like there is I don't know where I'm going.
A payoff.
But like, yeah, like there is, I understand why you have to do certain things, and like, yeah, you should hold yourself to a certain standard and
Absolutely.
like behave socially in a certain way. But I also like, sometimes we can let the guard down a little bit.
I know.
Like I don't know. I look at like a corporate world more, and I'm like, loosen up a little bit. like life is hard enough as it is. Why put on this mask of having to be this like perfect business guy 24/7?
I completely agree. And specifically looking at someone like your channel, it can be daunting for people from the outside view. You've got 26,000 followers. That's a huge number.
Hell.
When you're walking in public, you are not surrounded by 26,000 people. There's a very tangible, real disconnect from what that, a new time follower coming onto your channel, they see a very different version of you than the version I am portraying right now.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of this channel, is I want to show like, you are a calm, funny, reserved person, and there's a totally different side of things that I think people still deserve to see. Because it's like the yin and yang. Like, there's a lot more to a person than an online Instagram presence.
100%.
It's not like, hey guys, I bought my house today. Like, yes, those are still important things we should share with the world, but I think it's just as important to see your living space, I made my point.
no, I get like 100%, and that's something I've really tried to make an emphasis on, is when I'm putting stuff out, it is very specific in the sense where like I'm not vlogging my daily life.
Yeah.
I'm not, hey guys, this is what I'm eating for breakfast today. Like, I'm not doing day in the life stuff, and like I might every now and then.
Yeah, but
I'm starting to document
it's
coaching
with a humorous
more.
take.
But it's for other people to enjoy. Like when I'm talking about The Bachelor or doing this stuff, it's for other people. Like, again, if people want to get to know me, they can hopefully see that more, like my personality through there. But again, you'll never get the whole picture.
I know.
And there's something kind of refreshing about that, because
you deserve some sort of private life.
Yeah, and then you don't take the negative feedback or mean comments seriously or as serious, because you know that like they're not getting the full picture. They're seeing this clip or this video, which is like a different version of me, but still me.
Yeah.
Like I'm editing me, but it's a heightened version, or it's just talking about something specific that I enjoy. So there is a little bit of divide there, but I think a healthy divide.
Absolutely. The last time we met, I was expressing like how awkward it is for me to see myself, hear myself on video. That's already gotten better in about like 4 months of learning to edit my own stuff. So just sending hope out there to any new like vloggers.
It takes some time.
It
really
it's scary
does.
at first, and like I do a lot of singing. Hearing myself is the scariest thing in the world.
Dude, I have so much respect for people who can do that, because that feels so vulnerable. Like just performing, like singing, dancing, anything, because that is a different degree of like vulnerability.
Yeah. Dude, I encourage you at some point to take like an opera class, or like the scariest thing for you, because that will grow every part of your life.
You're right. You're so right, and you're right, because I just tensed up when you said that.
I saw it.
Yeah,
It was
like
cool.
I could feel me like, oh, I don't want to do that, which again means you're close to something good.
Dude, I did a laughter yoga class the other day.
Laughter yoga?
And I showed up with my mat, and the teacher said, "Oh, I can tell you're new. We don't use those here." And we sat in a circle and it was like a horror movie. We all stood and laughed at each other for an hour.
Oh, that rules.
It was the scariest thing I've ever been a part of. But after about 5 minutes, and I actually participated, I felt like a kid again. It was the most beautiful experience. And I was so light on this like pink cloud for the next 2 days. So the only point I'm making is like, you would get a lot of benefits, especially how willing you already are to try something like that.
Yeah. No, that's one thing.
I'll bug you about it.
You try to like, I need that too, because there is a certain level of comfortability where like I shoot my own stuff, I record my own stuff, I edit my own stuff. I have a lot of control. There needs to be a little more aspect of giving up some control and like pushing myself out of my comfort zone a little bit. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to continue to work on, or else you just kind of get stagnant, right? If you're not growing, you're going backwards. So.
That's why I'm here. That's why I pop back in your life, random points.
Love it.
Just bother you.
Love it. No, it's awesome.
So let's loop back to all the different bullet points I mentioned. Different phases of your life. Some of these, a lot of these, you still carry on. What comes to your mind first as like what you're most excited about right now?
Ooh, I like that question. It would have to be BachMakers, just because. So BachMakers is the show that I started with my friend Michael Bailey, who lives in Chicago. He's a great co-host. I've known him since high school. We started it where we cover The Bachelor and other reality TV shows. And on the surface, it was just, hey, I've developed a lot of connections in that world through the People Person podcast, where I just interviewed people. And I was watching the show. I reached out, had a couple interviews. They had fun. And then I was encouraged to kind of start a specific show a little more individualized towards The Bachelor. So I did that just like because it helps people get in the door. It's like, all right, The Bachelor, I watched that. Who are these guys? Let's check out more of their stuff. But the way it's grown over the last year, I really feel like this is going to almost sound pretentious. It's a little more important than just a satirical entertainment podcast about The Bachelor, because I don't know how familiar you are with that world. There's a very toxic side of like Bachelor Nation that's very aggressive, like talking like mean DMs, hateful stuff, where
I'm going to be honest, I'm not very familiar with it. I love you as a friend, and I support you in anything you do. So continue talking.
So there is like a very negative side of Bachelor Nation that I hate, and like it's just not the kind of people you want to associate with. But I feel like what we do is we're making fun of it in a way where it's like we're all in on the joke. We understand this is a TV show. This is all edited and like fake to a certain extent. These are real people putting themselves out there. So like, let's just have fun with this. And the more we can poke fun of it and make light of it, I think it like has that side of Bachelor Nation put the guns down a little bit. It's like, hey, it's not that deep. It's never been that deep. It's a TV show that we are meant to watch for entertainment. So I think we really push that narrative of like, hey, this is fun. This is a fun experience that we're all watching together. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it fun like that. And it's really kind of clicked. And it's the first time in all the years that I've been doing this where I feel like we have a built-in audience that will follow us whatever we try to do, which is so like motivating because it frees up what you can do. So like right now we're doing a dating show for one of the guys who was on The Bachelor. And we've had 360 girls apply. And it's like, wait a second, how did we get here? Like this all came together in like 2 or 3 days. But it feels like, oh, people are gravitating towards what we're doing, which is very fun because it's given me freedom to try other things on our channel too, like outside of the Bachelor world, which has been really exciting. So I'm really excited to see where that can go because that really feels like that's like leading the charge for us. That's like our... if in basketball terms, like that's our leading point getter, and we're building the supporting cast around it a little bit right now.
So you got a fluid channel. You're constantly moving to what the audience is telling.
Yeah, and I know if I was only doing BachMakers, I would get old. It would get old quick, and like I would get tired of it because I'm like, there's only so much you can do with that world. So, and that's just like my brain. I don't know if it's ADHD, ADD, whatever, where it's like I need to be filled with other things. I can't just focus all on this because I know myself, I'll burn out.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure a prereq of this channel is you have to have ADHD.
literally,
You'll watch the other the other
It has to
interviews,
be.
and it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab this.
Yeah,
That's
you're
a part of this.
oh yeah, nice.
I thought I had one in my. I don't know where my fidget thing
I
is.
probably have a few of these hanging around this.
I have like a real fidget cube that someone from Full Sail gave me.
Nice.
And it's got like a light switch on there.
yeah. I mean, it's probably our whole generation, to be honest.
That's
but,
awesome.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'll play with these glasses.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I need to be doing other things, so it's nice to have, this will be successful, and we have a good audience there, and I can try other things around it. So I can, from a business standpoint, have a successful show, but then also just from a personal standpoint, try other things and build that out.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, BachMakers, that came to your mind first. You're having fun with it. You're rolling with it. What's a project you've worked on that's been tugging at your mind and you like kind of want to move back to it at some point now?
Just
randomly.
1,000%. It's the People Person podcast.
Yeah.
So that was the first podcast I did. Because when I started, it was just YouTube videos, random stuff that I was thinking of, coming up with ideas. And I wanted to do more long form, similar to this, where you're just interviewing people that I am interested in.
Yeah.
And it's very broad. It can be anybody. And,
Oh, yeah, we talked about
and then
that
I ended
last
up getting
time.
like Bachelor podcast or Bachelor people on. And that's how it led to BachMakers. But I had a lot of musicians on, which I'm not a singer at all, but I loved like the songwriting process, and I was really interested in that. So
That's all I'm doing right now. That's funny.
Yeah, so I was able to do that for a long time, and it came to a point where like there just wasn't time in my day to do it, so I kind of had to give, unfortunately. But at some point, I will come back to it because, again, I keep referring back to it's just about the people that you get to meet, and so I feel like I've been able to meet so many cool people through that show individually. I would love to revisit at some point once we get a little more stable in terms of just income and the shows are kind of running themselves a little bit. But yeah, that's definitely something I want to get back to because I love doing that.
People like you and me, we have a lot of acquaintances. We have a lot of friends. We've rubbed past shoulders of a lot of people, specifically in this Indiana community. And that was what led me to create this channel was I wanted a way to highlight that. I thought there were some great people. So I think it's cool how similar we are because your brain went there too.
People are awesome.
Yeah.
People are so cool. Like even just a random person on the side of the street, like they have a story to tell or something like that makes them, which is so fun.
I would love at some point to get it to be that casual where it's like the person next to me on an airplane or something like that where it's just like, hey, who are you?
Yeah.
Tell me about your life. Because that fills me with so much joy. Especially if I've like preconceived notions about someone or have judged them already. And then those are the people that usually blow my mind.
100%. And you just got to like let that die a little bit and just get to know them as a person. Because I think there's a thing, I'm going to butcher this, but there was like a study shown where if like you have two people and they just sit down, I think they either hold hands and then stare into each other's eyes for like an hour straight without breaking, like they like fall in love or something. Like they always do. Just because like you end up after that long, it might be like a couple hours.
That's fascinating.
But like you end up dropping all judgments, all concepts of like just thought, and you just like see that person for truly like who they are. And like once you reach that point with the person, it's like just this beautiful thing. Again, I'm probably butchering it. There's something along those lines. There's like 10% accuracy there, but there's something there. I feel like I've heard it.
You talk about like willingness and how, I mentioned the laughter yoga thing. I'm scared to do something like that with someone.
Yo, dude, never. I could never do that, but I think, it'd be very, very tough. But I just think there's that idea of like, if you sit down in a room with someone for long enough, even if it's like your worst enemy, you can find common ground. You can find like, at the end of the day, we're all base level humans trying to survive out here. So
I think that's a really good view of humanity. I'm going to give the floor to you before I ask my last two questions. Is there anything that comes to mind, anything I'm missing?
One thing I've thought about a lot when prepping for this interview is like really step back and like look at like my why. Why am I doing this? Like what's driving me? And I think there's like two sides of it. There's the external, like what do I want people to like either take away or learn from it, and then just internally. Externally, it's very interesting because I don't think I got to this point for a while, but I really do believe that, and we've talked about it a little bit, there's so many positives to the internet and social media, and it can connect us in ways that we could never even like conceive of 30 years ago. But I think a lot of the discourse around it is super negative because there are negative sides to it, 100%, as there is to anything. You see it with AI. There's a lot of positives out, but it's mostly all the discourse is negative. Like, how is this going to take over? And you see the same thing with social media where even I look at our generation as like the golden generation in terms of we've seen both sides of the coin. We grew up to a certain point without social media, and having to go outside, go play at a playground, call up your friend's mom, be like, hey, can Johnny come out to play? Like that kind of stuff. And then we also, like in high school, college, had the social media experience where we've seen the negatives and the positive sides of it. So I think we have a very unique perspective of the internet and social media that no other generation is ever going to have. The youngest generation, the next generation below us, they grew up with it. Their whole life they've been surrounded by social media, and the parents of us, that generation, they never had it growing up, and they're learning about it. And so that's why it's scary for them, because they weren't immersed in it early enough. So it's this new thing for them that they don't understand, and I don't want my kids to deal with that because all the negative stuff. So I think not that it's like our duty to like encourage it, but I do think there is a certain perspective we have where we can point out how this can be beneficial. Like it's not going anywhere either. Like it's going to be here forever. For as long as I am on this earth, social media will be around, the internet's going to be around. So why not make it like accessible to everyone, but also like highlight the positives of it and just see where it can take us instead of looking at this big bad that it's going to ruin our lives and take over, which I think a lot of people view it as. So
being proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah, and I just think if we can get ahead of it and just be like, hey, I've seen both sides of this. We're going to have to live with this. Let's make the most of it, and then let's again use it for good. There's so much positives that come out of it. I can call up someone on my phone that I met on Instagram who lives in California right now, and like I never would have met them in the 30 years ago. I would have no contact with this person, never would have seen them in my life, and have no way of communicating with them. And now I can in one Instagram call.
Yeah.
So I think that's like externally something that's been really motivating me recently. And again, it's not like I started senior year of high school with that in mind. I just stumbled upon it and found, oh, this is a good like purpose and like why I'm doing what I'm doing. Whether I'm doing it successfully or not, that's not for me to say, but I think that is a good like motivating factor. And then just internally, I've kind of shifted into, again, this may sound pretentious, but like viewing what I do as art in a sense where I can feel like I'm developing more of a mindset as an artist, which has really helped me. And again, to compare art is dumb because everyone does.
Why? I consider this art.
Yeah, but it's like when you enter that mindset, it's way more freeing, and you don't view it as like this job that you got to show up for every time.
Yeah.
And it just really opened up a little bit, and then yeah, just viewing it in that lens has helped, whether it is or not. Again, whatever. But it's just really helped me kind of view it differently, which has been fun.
I think from that perspective of carrying around that MacBook and recording that first, video you did, you are an artist and you're conducting people around you to portray a portrait.
Yeah.
I think you just delivered like a beautiful 3-minute monologue, and I'm so excited to re-listen to that. But what a gift, what a blessing to be born in 1999 and see the world develop and have those memories of sunshine shining through leaves, because I just sat in a hammock for 5 hours. But to grow up from that place of not having cell phones and to get to a point, like where I am using my phone too long in a day. And I think you just highlighted that really well. And thank you for bringing up the whole why point of this.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely.
I think that's.
Thanks for prepping for this.
Oh, no
that's
problem.
Such a compliment.
Yeah, no, and it was a good exercise for me because I think and we've talked about this before, it's like you get so caught up in the day-to-day, like you're chasing, I got to do more work, I got to put more out. What am I editing today? What am I recording today? You never take a step back and be like, why am I doing this? And it's like you can get caught up in that cycle and then all of a sudden you blink and it's 2 years later.
Yeah.
So like it was really good exercise for me to step back and be like, what's motivating me? I know I am motivated, but why?
Yeah.
Like why am I motivated to do this? So that was really fun for me because then it adds an extra layer. When you really start to know what it is that's pushing you, you have that goal. And then like that tangible goal or intangible goal where, oh, that's what I'm headed towards or that's what I'm trying to portray here. And it's like a guiding North Star for the rest of the work you do.
That's huge.
Yeah.
You called it being pretentious. I don't think that's what it is at all. I think it's a very profound level of self-awareness. I think it's awesome. And I think it's catapulting you forward to be able to view yourself in that way. Like, you are an artist. I'm going to say it again.
Appreciate
that. Keep wearing that.
Because I feel like the Goodwill Hunting scene, it's like, it's not your fault. Like, you are an artist.
Yes. That is why I'm here.
Be my Robin Williams.
That's cool. One of the last questions I asked is, what's one book you recommend to the audience?
Oh, good question, because I don't read, and I'm trying to read more. So I started the read option to literally force me to read for no other reason.
I'm reading the Hunger Games book right now.
Awesome. We can talk about that in a second. Book that I've read. I'll give one that I read recently. This isn't the most enlightening answer to this question ever, but it did help me a little bit. There's a few excerpts from it that I really gravitated towards. And it's Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, which
it's amazing.
I have it at my.
Funny enough, I recommended that on Isaac's episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Love that.
Keep talking about it.
There is one highlighted portion I have in there, and I wish I had it on me, and maybe I can send it to you and you like put it in or something.
Yeah.
That like really just like clicked for me, and I was like, this is how I see the world. I'm like right there, and it's talking just about like.
Try to say it.
Yeah. I can't even remember what it is. It's just like the pursuit. Because he didn't view business as business. And then we kind of talked about it. Yeah. It's like, this isn't a pursuit of like financial success. He's like, if we would have made a dime, it's the people you surround yourself with, the goal of something bigger than yourself, where you can't view, it was like basically like business as a business. And like just from that simple mindset, it's like, it's bigger than you. It has to be, or else you're not going to be fully committed to it. Like if you're going to be 100% in on something, it can't just be work for you. And he put it very elegantly and way better than I did. I don't remember it, but every now and then when I need like an extra like motivation, and it's that another reminder, it's like, oh, I'm not the only person that thinks this way.
Yeah.
Because when I read it, I was like, I could have written this, but he just put it in words that I couldn't really portray at that point.
That's awesome.
So that's a big, I go back to like maybe like once a month, I'm like, all right, that helps me.
Dude, I love that book so much because of how vulnerable Phil Knight is.
Yeah.
And he literally writes like how confused he was.
Yeah.
Didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yes.
Like, why am I in Japan right now? I should be running.
Yeah.
I should be back in Oregon running.
Or sometimes he was like, I was kind of an asshole here.
Yeah.
And like that's
the reflective. Yeah. It was so cool.
Yes. So yeah, he's so open, and like I think that's
totally different than any of the Mark Zuckerberg things you hear.
Yeah, there's no ego.
No
ego in that book. He's like, hey, I fucked up here. Sorry. I don't know if we can curse on this.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, but he's like, I fucked up here. Yeah. And then sometimes like, I should have taken this deal, or like, I could have done this better, which you only do that if you're comfortable enough in yourself.
Yeah.
It'd be like, yeah, I'm not perfect. No one is. I'm going to mess up so many times. Me personally, I'll mess up 1,000 times until I get to where I want to be. Yeah. And then I'll continue to mess up. That's just life. So that was really, I did enjoy that book a lot.
That's cool.
But my co-host Jenna did not. She was not a fan of that one.
Dang.
I know.
All right, well, we'll have to convince her. Yes. Right?
Yes, 100%.
The last question I'll ask you is, can you deliver like an elevator pitch for why you are creative, and like what you could say to any new listener for why you've chosen the lifestyle? You pretty much just answered it, but Just how do you want to inspire people?
I mean, I can only really speak for myself in terms of there's a real sense of I have to. Like, I have to do this. Like, I don't know what else I would do and how I would end up being fulfilled without it, where you can't really describe it any other way except, like, it's like, why does LeBron play basketball? It's not because he's good at it. He's like, I'm sure at its core, I just compare myself to LeBron. That's dumb.
Not dumb at all.
But, like, when you gravitate towards something and you end up falling in love with it, there's, like, no other path for you. It's like, they always say in, like, relationships, like, when you know, you know. And there's just this feeling of, like, I can't see it any other way. I don't even know what that way is that I'm heading towards years from now, but there is, like, in my mind, this is, like, the only way for me to go. So, like, but it took a while to get here. I'm not saying, like, oh, I've always known, like, this is the path I want to do, and I still don't know what that path looks like. But as long as you are, again, we talked about self-awareness, understand, like, what your strengths, what your weaknesses are, try to address those as much as possible. Just understand, like, the person who is you, because you're stuck with that person forever. You can't avoid that person. You can't try to be someone else, because then it's just, that'll wear on you forever, and then
Can't move to different states.
no, like, you can't avoid that person. So, like, come to terms with that person and find what, like, that person enjoys, and treat yourself as almost like this best friend of yours that, hey, like, what do you want to do? If you could decide what you want to do tomorrow, what does that look like? And for me, I've scratched the surface of that. And it's not to say, like, every day is like sunshine and rainbows. I love this. It's like, there's some days it's so hard and you're like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. Like, I don't know how I'm going to make this work. But then there's other days where something clicks and it's like, oh, this is why I do it. So, like, you chase those moments, and when you have that gut feeling of, like, I'm supposed to be doing something like this, just keep chipping away at it. Because, like, you're trying to chip away until you find something really, like, powerful. And so once you get there, you'll know. But again, it's about that journey of getting to that point. So it's been a long time, and we haven't even talked about it, but coaching on the sidebar has been massive for me in terms of, like, purpose, and it feels like it's been a guiding factor for me too. So that's kind of helped shift everything here. But
That's huge.
Yeah, I just think it's a dumb answer, but, like, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
And if you feel yourself gravitating towards something, chase that.
Yeah.
Don't push that away, even if you think someone else is going to look differently towards that goal.
Well, if you're ever confused or doubting yourself on if you're an artist or not, listen back to the last 3 minutes, because there's your answer.
I will.
Let's wrap it there.
Appreciate it.
Peace, brother.
Hey, this is fun.
That was amazing. Appreciate it. Thank you. So cool.
Yeah. It's fun, man. Unfortunately, it is at my place in Carmel, but